Hi band, and welcome back. My name is Sonia and I will show you how to tune a bass with the help of our app called GuitarTuna. Let's have a look at the instrument itself at first. A bass typically has 4 strings. There might be some basses with 5 or 6 strings as well. Today I have a basic standard 4-string bass. Each string is attached to a tuning peg. Make sure that you know which tuning peg is connected to which string. The next is to find out what happens when you turn a tuning peg. Thickest string closest to your nose, and the first tuning peg should always be connected to that string. If I turn the peg towards myself, what happens? Pitch went down. If I turn it the other way around, away from myself, went up. Next string, turn it towards yourself, pitch goes down. Away from yourself, pitch goes up. Make sure you know which way you have to turn the peg to get the string go either up or down in pitch. The next thing we need to know are the names of the strings. And this is maybe the most important thing, because if we don't know the names, we don't essentially know which notes we have to tune the strings to. The names of the strings are the same as the notes that we need to tune the strings to. And the fun thing here is that the 4 strings of a bass are actually the same notes than the 4 thickest strings on a guitar. E, A, D, and G. Now let's look at the app that we're gonna use. If you just downloaded GuitarTuna, first thing you will probably see is the standard guitar headstock. So you can change this by clicking the big button on the top left saying standard. Go to bass and a 4-string. Good thing about this application is that it also tells you the names of the strings and the notes that you have to tune to. So if I start from the lowest E string, the thickest string, it tells me, oh, your E is way too low, so let's tune up. Next one. It's too high. And now here's a trick. A good rule is to always tune up to a note. If you're higher than where you're supposed to be, just tune down first and then back up. The D string. And the last one, our G string. Too low. Let's go up. Perfect. Now our bass is in tune with the help of GuitarTuna. I have a couple more pro tips for you regarding the tuning of the bass. Even if the tuners get us really close to the pitches, we might still want to double check a couple things with our ear. The first way to do this is to play a note on a string and then check that it matches the open string next to it. I will play the 5th fret on the lowest and thickest E string, which should be an A note, and match the open A string next to it. So let's first play the fretted A. And then the open A. Now the thing we need to focus on here is whether we are hearing any kind of wobbling in the sound when we play these notes together. Can you hear that? Whoa, 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 whoa. There's this wobbling thing going on. And now when I start tuning it back up, I want to tune it really carefully so that we get rid of that wobbling thing. No wobbling. So if I start from the thickest, as in the lowest E string, and I play the 5th fret on the E string, that should be note A, which should be the same note than the next open string. Pretty good. Now I'm playing the 5th fret of the A string, which should be a D note, and the next open string from there is the D string. The 5th fret on the D string should be a G. So each open string is the same note than the 5th fret of the string next to it. The second pro tip is to check the harmonics of your bass. If you've never played harmonics on your bass before, here's how to do it. Instead of pressing it down, you just slightly touch the fret with your finger while you pluck it. And the great thing about these harmonics is that you don't have to keep your finger there while it's playing. It's actually better if you just slightly tap it right at the same time when plucking, and then just let it ring. The most important ones you need for tuning you can find on frets 5 and 7. So these two frets are where you'll find the most important harmonics for tuning your bass. The 7th fret on a higher string is the same harmonic note than the 5th fret on the lower string. So if I play on the G string, I play the harmonic on fret 7. It should be the same than fret 5 on the next string. And so forth. The closer together the strings are in tune, the slower the wobbling will get. And eventually, when it's perfect, it'll stop. No wobbling. So even if your tuner app or whatever tuner you're using will get you really close to the right pitches, you might want to double check the harmonics too, because when those are perfect, then your bass is really, really perfectly in tune. That was it for today. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again.